All right, what is up, Web Summit? My name is Pavi, I'm 16 years old, and I'm assuming you're here because you want to incorporate Gen Z into your company, but are not sure how. But no worries, I'm here to guide you through it. Now, Gen Z is not like the typical generation. To give you some context, when I was just 15 this past summer, I worked at Walmart, the world's largest retailer. Now, as I worked at Walmart, I actually worked at Walmart Canada's innovation incubator known as Blue Labs. As I worked at Blue Labs, worked at a few other companies, and even talked to my fellow innovator, Ciara, we came up with 4 points. 4 golden items companies can harness to successfully incorporate Gen Z into their company. And I'm here to talk about the first 2. TLDR, there's a lot to talk about, but I'm here to guide you through it. Now, the fact and the matter of how I actually got into Blue Labs is a pretty interesting story. At TKS, we do something known as a consulting challenge. We were posed by Walmart a question of how to change the future of retail for the next-gen consumer. After that, my team became a finalist, and we got to pitch to the CEO and former president of Walmart Canada alongside 500-plus Walmart execs. A few months later, I became an intern at Walmart Blue Labs. Now, the first thing that I actually got told at Blue Labs was, you interns bring value. By value, he wasn't talking about the status quo value hiring companies currently do, but was talking about the fact that we're valuable players. Here's the status quo. How do I get the same level of talent, but cheaper? Let me just say, this is the wrong mentality because it's short term. Now, maybe you'll save $10,000 for 10 people maximum, saving you maybe up to $100,000. Okay, pretty decent. But the needle mover is, how can you actually identify those young people who have a 1% chance of making a 10x change within the business, saving you or even generating up to $1 million? This is what I like to call the entrepreneur versus the entrepreneur. Let's take an entrepreneur, for example. So one of those blue dots and those variety of black dots is Ben. Ben Nashman is a former TKS student who built Synex Medical. Synex Medical was his very own startup where he created these non-invasive biosensors in the form of rings. This was a huge advancement. It was through remote monitoring 24/7. This led him to actually funding up to $7 million at just 17 years old. Now, I want you to think about this. Let's say that before Ben created Synex Medical, you got him into your company a year early. Instead of creating that 10x change within biosensors, he could have created that 10x change within your company. That is the entrepreneur. But you might be thinking, it's risky. He's 17 years old. 2 things. Risk drives innovation. And second, your company shouldn't be mitigating for risk. It should be optimizing for that 10x success. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but how do I actually do this? How do I find these entrepreneurs? Well, I'm here to pose another problem that you guys are currently facing. The fact that you're hiring Gen Z and young talent the same way you're hiring older talent. You don't need to put them through a filter system of resumes, interviews, checkbox. What you need to do, give them a free-for-all task. What I challenge you is on your website, put a page called Submit a Proposal. Let anyone under the age of 25 submit anything they want to your company. The onus is put on the young person, and they get to showcase all their skills. It's all about project-based learning. Now, I think we understand entrepreneur and entrepreneur pretty well, but I want to actually go into the root cause of why Gen Z is such a valuable player to your company. Now, I want to go back to my time at Blue Labs. Now, at Blue Labs, it's Walmart, huge corporation. What I realized is there's a lot of specialists in this field. Every time we considered a problem, they would think about it's a communications problem, it's an engineering problem, but I considered a broader scope. Let me tell you what I mean. Let's zoom out from Walmart and look at the tech industry. Let's say that on the right, you have all the possible AI experts in the world. On the left, all the possible blockchain experts in the world. These are all specialists. But the red dots, those are the total number of people that are specialists in both AI and blockchain. These are the specialized generalists. Now at TKS, we actually have this concept called building your T, building breadth and depth simultaneously. Now breadth is known to be anything like nanotech, gene editing, AI, blockchain. Depth is taking a piece of your breadth, diving really deep into it. Me, for example, I looked at nanotech, I created my depth. Then I looked at AI. Now my depth got thicker and thicker, building an even stronger T. But fun fact, all of these people with these strong Ts are high school students, and here's why. Your status quo employee is probably someone who works a 9-to-5 shift. They have other responsibilities, and they don't really get to explore their passions. But if you're thinking about an industry like AI or blockchain, they move so fast. You can't have someone that's half in the industry. They have to be fully in it. And so that's where high school students come in. All we're expected to do is explore our passions. And we do it successfully because, well, we have the time and we have the curiosity. All right, now I'm assuming that half of you are probably thinking, okay, you know what, this seems like a great idea, entrepreneurs and also the specialized generalists. But I'm going to let other companies validate it, and once they get the hang on it, I'll go put it into my company. Two things wrong with this. One, you're mitigating for risk, not optimizing for 10x success. But secondly, it is already validated. TKS students and other students are some of the youngest interns at companies like IBM, NASA, Neuralink, OpenAI, or even Walmart. On top of that, you're already gaining all this knowledge from Gen Z, but also you're seriously going to change a young person's life. When I was at Walmart, sure, I was a needle mover in that company, but I got such an incredible educational experience that it 10x'd my career personally. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, this is only half of the real deal that Gen Z can bring to you. Now, welcoming onto the stage, I have one of my fellow innovators and very good friends with incredible experience, Ciara. She's here to tackle adaptability and how you can train young people to actually become needle movers. Thank you so much. My name is Pavi, and welcome on, Ciara.
What's up, Web Summit? I'm so excited to be here today. Again, I'm Ciara, I'm 15 years old, and I have interest in ed tech and health tech. So I totally agree with the points that Pavi brought up in her part of the presentation. Gen Z's ability to be specialized generalists and be entrepreneurs for companies are some of the most promising reasons why companies should hire Gen Z. But there's also a few other factors to take into consideration, one of which is adaptability. So generally, young people adjust to new environments, tackle challenges, and learn from mistakes very quickly. I want to give the example of the Knowledge Society, TKS, the program that Pavi and I are a part of. In TKS, we spend part of the year focusing on an emerging technology, like AI or nanotech or some of that. But we also spend part of the year focusing on hackathons and challenges and moonshots. So for example, when we're looking at hackathons, we're kind of thinking about, okay, let's apply a technology to a problem that we're really interested in and create a tangible solution. But when we're thinking about moonshots, we're thinking far past what is just tangible now, but what is tangible 5 to 10 years, at least 5 to 10 years in the future. And that is just, it's a complete change in mindset. And specifically with the global challenge, it was another complete change in mindset. So for the global challenge, we were tasked with using the knowledge that we'd previously gained from this past year at the Knowledge Society to work with companies. And specifically, my team and I, we worked with XPRIZE. And the problem that they gave us was around police reform. But this problem, it's not something that you can just solve with one technology or one pitch deck. It's a very complicated problem with a lot of layers. And so specifically, we were tasked with effectively assessing the impact of police reform in the United States. And this was definitely hard. We had to consider so many factors. We had to consider people and systems that we'd never even really thought of before. But I'm really glad that, first of all, XPRIZE kind of gave us that guidance needed to kind of help create a good problem statement and kind of frame the problem really well, and also didn't give us too many guardrails so we can really take this into our own hands. And so my team and I, we ended up working with public data, individual police officers, and the finances of police stations. And so the last two parts are really for people and systems, and that's the part where we really had to learn a lot of skills for. But for the first part, we really utilized our interest in artificial intelligence to work with data. And so you may be wondering, okay, Gen Z has all of these skills. They have the adaptability. They can be generalists and specialists. But how are they going to work at my company? After all, they're only high schoolers. And I'm pretty sure we all know that high school does not really prepare us for the real world at all. And this is why companies need to invest in training young people to become needle movers. Now, so this isn't new exactly. So for example, major sports organizations like football leagues and basketball leagues, they train young talent as early as 12 or 13 years old. And they do this because they see the potential young people have to be as great as or even better than professional talent. Another tangible example of this is TKS. So at TKS, after just a year of going through the program, students can come out capable of working alongside emerging tech leaders, starting their own startups, creating high-quality presentations, and also having a high-value network. But this may not exactly work for your company. You may not have enough time to spend a whole year training your new interns or the new young people working at your company. So here are a few tangible things that you can do to kind of help make this transition from Gen Z high school to working at companies. one of which is idea sprints. And so young people in general, we have so many crazy ideas. After all, we're only doing busy work in high school, so we have so much time to explore our interests, think about crazy solutions, and all of that. So a tangible thing that your company could do is come up with a prompt or some sort of challenge that really engages young people in thinking of creative 10x solutions for the company. Another thing is case studies. So maybe look at coming up with a case study that involved a problem that your company previously faced and solved. And just look at how young people analyze that problem, and they may even come up with a totally different solution that your company may not have even thought of at all. And this is why engaging Gen Z and these types of activities is really helpful. And the last part, and probably one of the most effective, is learning from the best. So you want to have this company environment where Gen Z is able to work with people at the company, some of the best, some of the people that they are really interested in learning from. And it's just like that flexible environment where they feel like it's safe to ask questions and learn from them and seek that mentorship. And so for a good example of this is my company that I currently work at, edtech startup called Kira Learning. So what they basically do is they create AI and computer science curriculum for middle and high school students who have no experience in this. So they're really kind of rechanging the whole CS curriculum, and they're even adding AI, because AI is not really in many current public school, private school curriculums. And so when I first started at Kira back in July, I had experience looking into AI, technicalities of it. I'd done a focus for TCAS in it, and I'd also been really interested in the intersection of AI and education. And so I was really wanted to work at Kira Learning. But I came in with, I didn't really have these skills on actually translating these AI concepts into actionable steps in curriculum. And at the time, Kira was at the stage where they were developing their first course, they were already working on their second and third course, and they needed people to help with curriculum. But I didn't really have those skills, so I was concerned about this. But then after kind of working at the company for a few months, and first of all, utilizing my strength, which was giving feedback on their product, because not so long ago, I was in that position where I had no clue what AI was. I didn't know how the technicalities of it worked. I thought I had to wait till college to even learn about this stuff. So I was at that stage, and I had to kind of work through it myself, and now I'm really helping Kira with developing their product was something that I could tangibly help with. It was a strength that I had. But a weakness that I had, which I mentioned before, is the fact that I wasn't really good at curriculum. So what Kira did, and we kind of shared this vision that eventually I really did want to work in the curriculum space because I was really interested in that. And so what Kira did, they allowed me to have one-on-ones with curriculum developers, ask them questions, sit in on all of the meetings, and kind of just really soak in everything I could about curriculum development. And now I still work at Kira, and now I am currently helping with creating content for their new and upcoming courses, and also working on some of their content for other parts of their platform. And so the key part here is the middle part. So basically, the part where they're allowing me to learn from experts, but also utilizing my strengths. So we're still propelling the company forward, but I'm still getting a learning experience from it. And so here are a couple of things that companies can do to make sure that this process of training young people and utilizing our skills is as seamless as possible. One is having a flexible environment, an environment that allows us to fail. We're constantly told in school that if we fail, we get something wrong. It's not really much of a growing experience. It's a failure. We get an F on a test. We feel disappointed, and we don't even feel that motivated to look back and see where we could have grown. But we need environments where companies can allow us to basically fail, but also grow from it, and also know that it's okay. It's okay to learn and grow. We're young people. And the next point is high standards. So it's really simple. If you set the bar here, we're going to meet you here. Expect that. But if you set the bar here, expect that we meet you here. Now, this doesn't apply for everyone. There's a lot of high-achieving students who are really ambitious and really reach beyond just that point. But we really want to optimize for setting those high standards, because it sets that expectation. And trust me, young people will meet you at that standard. So to close up, these are four key things that your companies should be really optimizing for if you want to incorporate Gen Z well into your company. So I'm Sierra Sejor, and thank you so much.